Alright, welcome to Tribulation, day 97, as we approach the 100th day of the Tribulation, 5/15/2011. The world continues to spiral downward into chaos. Some of you may be just waking up to this fact. Some of you may have been on board since 5/15, some before then. Maybe today is the first day of your tribulation. But the good news is, if you're listening to me, then you're in the right place, because I'm committed to understanding what's going on and helping anybody in any way possible kind of get through it. The world right now is just absolutely chaotic. The global economic meltdown is upon us. Minimally, the world's going to go into a recession, but I'm thinking it's more like just depression. And the bottom line is, the world is controlled by the rule of secrecy, the Bilderbergers, the IMF, the World Banking System, and basically we're at the point where they have to reevaluate the whole currency structure, and the dollar is not going to be the global currency. So, they need a huge disaster to kind of unite the world to say, here's the new currency, here's the new credit line, step forward and get your money, but also get your mark or your number, your unique identifier as a person who is economically viable in the new world order. So, that's the really, really bad news. But there's tons of other bad news out there. If you're watching the news, especially MSNBC, which is like propaganda brainwashing 101, but you know what, if you can see through all their haze, you can still figure certain things out. So, the point I'm getting to is a couple things. Nothing is as it appears to be. President Obama, getting rid of Osama bin Laden, where he was walking around saying, I did it, I got him, I got the son of a bitch, and we had all these people celebrating in the streets like idiots. I hate to tell you that, because there was no reason to be celebrating. It was all a big show. Osama bin Laden was nothing but an old man holed up in a dilapidated shack in Pakistan, but where the media and Obama would try and tell us all, hey man, it's basically over, we got the son of a bitch. It's the exact opposite. They basically lit the fuse, and it's just beginning the next phase of what's to come. And that's not good news. So along those lines, the development in the Middle East is just absolutely out of control, because in Libya, the secret war, whatever the objectives were, Obama never made that clear, but here's how it works. If you once again watch like MSNBC or the mainstream media, they're like, oh, Gaddafi's going to leave. He's just about out of there. He's going to go to Tanzania or Venezuela, because with all his money, he's made arrangements, so now he can go kick back on his yacht and live in a mansion someplace else, which, that's bullshit. That guy deserves to be just dead, period, But anyway, the media's like, oh, he'll be gone, happy days. The people of Libya are now liberated. But what they're not really going to tell you is the people that are taking over, the people that we've been backing the whole time, is the Al-Qaeda, which is the very same people that are trying to take down America. So what you got now is the Al-Qaeda setting up with a whole country right there. Al-Qaeda's basically taken over Yemen, and you know what, I got news for you. The Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda, they're taking over Egypt, and the recent attacks in Israel are confirmation of that, where you literally had guys in Egyptian military uniforms helping launch the attack, just brazen attacks on Israel, shooting buses filled with innocent people. And the even worse news now is with Syria and in the Assad situation. and basically America not playing any role, and our President Obama just being, your basic fool, hanging out in Martha's Vineyard, digging for clams or whatever, as the whole world goes to hell. But Assad leaving Syria is not going to be good news either, because what's going to step in and take over Syria is going to be, oh, surprise, surprise, Al-Qaeda. So, basically, Al-Qaeda, Hamas are all long-armed tentacles of the sinister, evil forces of Iran. So what you got is Iran now reaching out and just taking control of that whole area and basically surrounding Israel, and they're committed to the extinction of Israel. So dark, dark days are ahead, and unfortunately I think we are on the cusp of a global conflict. So, the time to just prepare a little bit is here. And life as we know it is going to change. I hate to tell you, I was talking to a guy down at Safeway that was begging for money that hasn't worked for years, but I told him, I said, you know what, dude? Don't feel bad about where you're at, because when the crap hits the fan, you're ahead of the game, man, because your value system has already been readjusted, because you're no longer thinking on the old school terms. People that got their mortgages and their 401ks, that their whole lives are based on the monetary system, they're going to be very disappointed as the whole monetary system gets re-evaluated, and they find out that they're no longer, middle class, or, that they're just joining the masses of discontented poor people. So, the other thing I wanted to touch on this morning is, this whole tribulation that's rolling forward, 2012, 2013, whatever, it's just kind of how things work. It's kind of like when animals, overbreed, whatever it might be, locusts, deer, whatever. Nature has a way that when there's just too much of something, to just get rid of it, one way or the other, through a natural predator or a disaster. The Earth, once again, has just reached 7 billion people, and the key here is us learning how to live together, and the old power structure sure as hell ain't gonna work, which is the elite ruling everybody with an iron fist. Like that cannot possibly be our future. So those are the forces, the dynamics really that are going to butt heads here, is people wanting to live in freedom, and the freedom to pursue liberty, versus those that want to tell you how to live. But the planet itself is kind of, it's that word unsustainability, where everything about our society, is kind of taking us in the wrong direction, where, basically we're focused on materialism and self-satisfaction, being the biggest drivers in our lives, where we got to accumulate a lot of stuff and we got to do whatever we got to do. Like, once again, our president, right in the middle of the world going to hell, oh, he has to go take that vacation at Martha's Vineyard to feel good, and hang out with, cool people, but, that's a focus that's going to destroy the world. I remember back in the day, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but, the Earth is going through that transition, because the vibes are just negative, because we're not focused on living in balance in our lives and living in harmony. And I'm not trying to be this big tree hugger, but there's some truth that out of 7 billion people, you got to look at how you live your lives, your footprints, and we generate just a mess load of garbage, man. That's the bottom line. Rather than trying to think long term, and everybody knows if you buy something, you want to get something that's durable, that lasts a long time. But our whole society is set up to do the exact opposite, because we design products now to be short term, to be disposable, and because they just want you to consume. And back in the day, what I was getting to is, remember they had like the Indian looking at people throwing garbage out the window on the freeway, and he was crying, and it was sad, and it made you say, hey, I'm going to go pick up some garbage. But the theory was, that Indians, at least, had found some form of balance in living, on the planet in harmony, you know, and that may or may not be true, but the truth is living in harmony, you know, because even the Indians had to, you know, come to grips with, hey, keep up with the modern world, you know, because living in harmony and balance doesn't mean that you have to live like, you know, some Cro-Magnon caveman in, you know, with no running water. But that being said, everything we do on the planet, we got to, you know, put some thought into it about how it works in harmony and balance. And just, you know, that's why, like, pollution's a bad thing. I don't support pollution. If somebody's polluting, you know what? Stop it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut out. The tribulation continues. Let's keep the faith. You know, positivity wins in the end, man. Love does conquer all. And there's a lot of good people out there, man. All right. Keep on rocking. Peace out.